Welcome to Tender Heart.
Best friends turned foes. Nancy always took care of her best friend, Christy. They were born in the same hospital. Since then, their mothers became friends, and so did the two newborns became best buddies. Christy was creative, artistic, a bit lazy sometimes, very sociable and what you would call without any doubt an extrovert person. Nancy, on the other hand, was very technical, stubborn, self-focused and what you would call without any doubt an introvert. But they got on well despite the big difference in their personalities. Christy and Nancy had been almost inseparable during the past 20 years. Some people would envy them because of their wonderful relationship. Rumors had it that they were lovers, but that was totally untrue. They were just very good friends. One day they decided to open a restaurant together, but Nancy had more money than Christy. So, Nancy invested more in the restaurant. The restaurant was immediately a success. Everyone who knew them thought they would go on and establish more branches. They were earning a decent amount of money, but at the expense of their relationship. After a couple of hiccups and discussions here and there, they decided to close the restaurant, trying to avoid ruining their friendship. Except Nancy went to a lawyer in order to fire Christy using the excuse that she made a bigger investment at the beginning. This was of course totally unexpected for Christy, who could barely believe the letter she received from the Justice Department, asking her to appear in court. After Christy hired another lawyer and presented herself to the court, the judge couldn't do anything but rule in favor of Nancy. Since they considered her as the major shareholder, thus, the owner of the place. Christy recovered her initial investment, which didn't amount to much, and found herself jobless. But she swore to herself that this would not end so easily. After a couple of months, Christy enrolled in a food chain management course. She rented the cheapest apartment in town. She would work the night shifts at a bar to cover the expenses and pay for the bills. After several months of hard work and study, Christy obtained the certificate to open a food establishment by herself. Except she didn't have any money. She then took up a second job as a cook during the day in a small restaurant in the same neighborhood. It has been a long time, but Christy would not refuse to forget what happened to her and how a little problem could destroy a friendship that was thought to be forever. 2 years later, Christy saved enough money to start a small restaurant near the old restaurant that the two old friends used to own. With the help of her boyfriend, they renovated the small restaurant with their own hands, going almost bankrupt, but achieving it with all their hard work. In the meantime, Nancy's restaurant was just as successful as always, not the best restaurant ever, but good enough to ensure continuity on the business. Nancy never passed by to wish Christy success, not a single word. Opening day came and it was rather quiet. While Nancy's had her 15 tables full, Christy just had 2 clients, and one of them only asked for a takeaway coffee. First week destroyed all of Christy's hopes. But then something magical happened. 2 5-star reviews were left on Google Maps in the second week of business. This triggered the locals' interest in Christy's small restaurant. One of the appetizers was made from an old recipe Christy learned from her grandmother who passed away a long time ago. It was an appetizer that Christy always wanted to have at her restaurant in remembrance of her grandmother. 1 year later, Christy's restaurant became the most popular in town. At the same time, Nancy's business has been going down the hill, partly due to Nancy's indifferent customer service and quality of food. One day, Nancy passed by Christy's crowded restaurant and saw that there was a dish named after her. Yes, a dish called Nancy. Christy offered herself to talk to Nancy. It's been a long time. Christy started the conversation with a big smile. Why did you name one of your appetizers Nancy? Wondered Nancy. Well, the dish is cold. Does that ring a bell? Christy answered. Not really, answered Nancy. You don't know what they say, huh? Revenge is a dish best served cold, said Christy. Nancy stood up and left, since she couldn't bear the humiliation.